Hey guys, this is Chad, bringing you some commentary on radiation. Well, today I want to talk a little bit about iron sights and optics, the value of red dot sights and reflex sights in Black Ops, and how I think it's actually not as important as it was in Modern Warfare 2. Now, a big reason for that is because if you'd notice, if you ever played Modern Warfare 2 or Call of Duty 4, guns had really significant muzzle flash when you fired it in full auto. And oftentimes, if you were trying to track a target that was moving and it was far away, it could be pretty difficult with the smoke and the muzzle flash getting in the way. But pay attention to what's going on in this video. So pay attention to every time I fire my gun. You'll see that there actually isn't much muzzle flash to speak of. And that actually takes away from one of the most important advantages of using a red dot sight, reflex sight, or even a silencer. Because back then silencers took away muzzle flash in Modern Warfare 2. But then again, if you didn't have muzzle flash to begin with, like in Black Ops, what's the point, right? I mean, apart from the obvious, you wouldn't appear on the radar if you were using a silencer. But I think that's one of the biggest reasons why optics aren't actually that good in Black Ops. And the fact that you've got attachments like dual mags, extended mags, that actually provide additional value to you as a player depending on your playstyle. Let's say if you're like a rush friendly player, you would maybe think of extended mags so you wouldn't have to reload as often. And if you were, say, a person that hung back and was getting a lot of streaks, you'd like to have the extra ammo that dual mags would provide. And these are things that actually provide value to you as a player, as opposed to something purely visual, like a reflex sight or a red dot sight. Now, I know a lot of people might disagree, but the important thing is that you have to select your loadout to what's considered good enough for the situation at hand. And what I mean by being good enough is that if you had that red dot sight, or what I mean is if you didn't have that red dot sight at that very moment, would you or would you not have made that kill? These are things you have to think about. Let's say, for example, if I was playing Nuketown and I was at medium range, medium to close range, I wouldn't need a red dot sight to kill someone. I mean, the red dot sight would provide no value to me. If I was talking about array, it would be a different story. Like if I was using the M16 with iron sights or M16 with red dot, it would make a difference because I probably might be able to acquire targets a little bit faster. And that's what you have to ask yourself when you're selecting your loadout, and if you're deciding whether or not if you should use optics in game. Second of all, the iron sights in Black Ops are all pretty good. None of them, except for the Uzi, actually obscure the target too much. And I mean, personally, I don't really have a hard time tracking targets and whatnot. And they're actually pretty consistent as well. A lot of the popular guns use the same ghost ring iron sights. The FAMAS, the AUG, the Commando, and this would actually help players transfer their skills from one gun to the next pretty easily. And back then, in other games even, let's say Modern Warfare 2 or CoD 4, iron sights were different from one gun to the next. Just because you can use the iron sights from the AK-47 does not mean you would like the iron sights in the M60. It's the same situation here, but to a much lesser extent, because the FAMAS, the AUG, are by far the more popular guns in Black Ops, and they so happen to have the exact same iron sights. So their popularity, I think, plays a big factor too. So let's say if you run out of ammo, what would you usually find on the floor? You know, it's probably 74U, a FAMAS or an AUG. You know, it's like the so-called overpowered guns, but I think they're just overused. And if they have these same iron sights, you know, players can get accustomed to one gun and use the other gun without too much of a problem. So ultimately, I think there are a lot of things that take away from the value of optics in Black Ops in general, unless you wanted something different, like an ACOG on array, for example. That provides a better zoom, so then you can acquire targets at long range. You know, that provides something extra from the iron sights. But red dot sights and reflex sights don't actually provide anything but, you know, visual acuity. And I think that can actually be overcome with practice and training by using the gun with their iron sights. I mean, it all comes with training. To be honest with you, when I aim nowadays, it's not even me trying to aim and visually look at the target and fire. Much of it has to do with feel. I know to some degree where the center of the screen is, and when the enemy is at the center of the screen, I just aim down sights and fire. And that's also where I get my speed from, because oftentimes if you're gonna have to visually confirm that that person is there before taking your shot, you will be dead anyway. So I'm gonna stop right here. We're out of time today, and I know it overran a bit, but yeah, I'm gonna try to time it better next time. Still not used to this whole commentary business, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned to what's coming next.